If you think food can have an influence on your vaginal smell, you're not wrong. In fact, it has far more impact than most women realize. Maybe you've noticed, some days feel perfectly fine, and other days you wonder, why does it smell stronger today than yesterday? The truth is, the foods that pass through the lips on your face come out through the lips between your legs. They whisper their secrets through your body. Some foods are your allies, quietly helping you stay balanced and confident. Others are secret saboteurs, leaving traces you never asked for. Today we'll uncover 7 surprising foods that will make your vagina either very good or disgusting. And I won't just list them, I'll show you exactly how to eat them the right way so you don't end up amplifying the wrong smell. I'll tell you exactly what foods to eat for a good smell and which ones to avoid, or at least avoid eating a certain way if you want to stay fresh down there over the next 48 hours. And at the very end, I'll reveal the one food that has the most influence of all, the one women whisper about before a romantic evening, hoping it gives them that extra spark of confidence. Welcome to the Female Health Podcast, where we uncover the truths that women over 60 deserve to know, but rarely get told. I am so grateful to have you here. I'm Dr. Lia Parker, gynecologist and intimate health psychologist with more than 30 years of experience helping women feel comfortable, confident, and in control of their bodies. And before we dive in, I want to share something special. Memberships are now open on this channel. By joining, you'll enjoy exclusive benefits, priority responses to your questions, and access to a private chat where you can ask me anything you'd like. It's a safe, personal space just for us, and I'd love for you to be part of it. So let's get started. The very first food is something creamy, soothing, and surprisingly powerful, but only if you eat it the right way, and if you don't, it can backfire. Stay with me, because I'll reveal what it is in just a moment. When it comes to intimate freshness, many women focus only on washing the outside. But here's the secret hardly anyone tells you. What really matters is what's happening inside. Your vagina is full of bacteria, and that's a good thing when the good bacteria outnumber the bad. But the moment that balance tips, you notice it. The smell sharpens, the discharge changes, and no amount of soap on the outside will fix what's happening on the inside. Now, before I tell you the first food, there's something you must understand. This will sound simple, but it explains more than anything else why some days feel fresh and other days don't. It all comes down to something called pH. Don't let the word scare you, it's just a way of measuring whether something is more sour or more soapy. On a scale of 0 to 14, the lower end means more sour, like lemon juice, and the higher end means more soapy, like baking soda. Right in the middle, 7 is neutral, like plain water. Now here's the part nobody tells women clearly. Your vagina is meant to stay on the sour side of that scale, usually somewhere around 4. That's its natural state. When it stays in that range, the good bacteria are strong and the bad ones can't grow. But if your pH rises too high, the bad bacteria take over, and that's when the smell gets sharper. So why am I explaining this instead of just naming the food? Because if you don't understand this, you'll think it's just about eating something healthy. But freshness isn't about health in general. It's about whether the food you eat supports that delicate pH balance inside. And now that you understand that, the first food will make perfect sense. Something creamy, soothing, and alive with cultures that support your intimate ecosystem. You probably already keep it in your fridge. I'm talking about yogurt, but not the sugary kind that hides behind fruit flavors and artificial sweeteners. Only plain, natural yogurt carries the live bacteria that actually matter. Think of them as little helpers moving in, pushing out the bad neighbors, and keeping your home clean. And just to be clear, yogurt doesn't make you smell sour like yogurt. What it does is feed those good bacteria that live naturally inside you. They act like invisible housekeepers, sweeping away the bad ones that create odor. So the effect is actually the opposite of what you might think. By eating plain yogurt, you're encouraging a cleaner, fresher, more balanced environment. But here's where most women go wrong: by eating yogurt the wrong way. By eating yogurt this specific way, plain, unsweetened, and ideally a few spoonfuls each day, you make sure it supports your freshness rather than secretly feeding the very bacteria that cause odor. Now, yogurt may be your ally, but what if you reach for a food that looks innocent, yet its fiery compounds betray you within hours? A food that leaves its mark not only on your breath, but on your sweat, and yes, even down there. That's our next stop, and it's a shocker. Not every food that excites your taste buds is kind to your most intimate area. Some flavors are bold, fiery, unforgettable, but not always in the way you want. And if you've ever eaten something heavily spiced and noticed that your body just didn't feel or smell the same afterward, you already know what I'm talking about. Before I name this food, I want you to understand why it matters. Many women think that smell only comes from the outside, from what you wash with, or how well you keep yourself clean. But here's the surprising truth. Odor doesn't just start on the surface. It comes from the inside out. When you eat certain foods, your body doesn't just take in their vitamins and energy, it also has to get rid of what's left over. And that waste doesn't only leave through the bathroom, it can escape through sweat, through your breath, and yes, through your vaginal fluids. That's why what you eat leaves a trace, sometimes hours or even a full day later. Now let's talk about one of the strongest examples, spicy foods. They wake up your tongue, they warm your body, but they also heat up your scent. Why? Because the strong compounds that make spicy food exciting are the same ones that stay active long after the meal is over. Your body pushes them out through your pores, and you know what that means. They don't just affect how you smell under your arms, they affect how you smell between your legs. And at the top of this list is garlic. Garlic is powerful, healthy, and almost magical for your immune system. But the same sulfur-like compound that makes garlic so healing is also what makes its smell cling to you. You've noticed it before. Eat garlic at lunch, and you can still taste it on your breath that night. That compound travels in your blood, seeps into sweat, and yes, it can even change how your vagina smells. Now, I'm not saying you should never touch garlic again. The truth is, it's about timing and control. Garlic only becomes a problem when you eat too much, too close to moments when freshness matters most. By eating garlic this specific way, in small amounts, spaced out from intimacy, and with plenty of water, you can enjoy its benefits without letting it betray you later. Think about that for a moment. The very same food that strengthens your body can, in the wrong setting, weaken your confidence, and that's the real danger. Because once you start feeling unsure about how you smell, it affects the way you carry yourself, and confidence is just as important as cleanliness. But here's the good news. Just as some foods can sabotage you, others can work quietly in your favor. And the next one is so ordinary, you'd walk past it in the grocery store without realizing it's actually a hidden ally. It's crunchy, juicy, almost all water, and it doesn't just hydrate your mouth, it refreshes your most intimate scent. That's what we'll reveal next. Not every food that influences your smell is dramatic. Some of them work so quietly that you wouldn't even think twice about them. And sometimes, it's the simplest, most ordinary foods that make the biggest difference. Take this one for example. It doesn't sting your tongue like garlic. It doesn't leave your breath heavy or your sweat strong. In fact, it's almost flavorless. But when it passes through your body, it leaves something far more powerful than taste. It leaves you clean. I'm talking about the humble celery stick. Now don't roll your eyes. Celery may look boring on the plate, but inside your body it does two important things. First, it's made of water, almost 95% of it. And that matters, because hydration is one of the most underestimated secrets of vaginal freshness. When your body is well hydrated, your fluids are lighter, clearer, and less likely to carry a strong smell. It's like the difference between a stagnant pond and a flowing stream. One smells sharp, the other stays fresh. Second, celery carries minerals that act like gentle cleaners inside your system. Think of them as tiny brushes that sweep out excess acids and toxins before they can change your scent. Some women even say that eating celery regularly makes their sweat smell lighter, almost sweet. But here's where it gets interesting. The way you eat celery makes a difference. By eating celery this specific way, raw, crunchy, and fresh, not boiled into mush, you make sure it keeps its cleansing power. When it's cooked until soft, most of the water and minerals that help you stay fresh are lost. That's why a few raw sticks a day can quietly shift things in your favor. And the beauty of celery is this: it doesn't announce itself. No one will ever say, "Ah, I know what you ate. Unlike garlic or spices, it leaves no obvious trace, only a subtle boost to your freshness. So the next time you think of celery as just garnish on the side of your plate, remember this: those green stalks may be one of the simplest, cheapest ways to support how you smell and feel, but not every green vegetable is your friend. In fact, one very popular stalky vegetable can betray you within hours. You know it by the way it makes your urine smell, and unfortunately, that scent doesn't always stop at the toilet. Some foods seem so healthy that you'd never suspect they could affect your freshness in a negative way. They're green, they're full of vitamins, and they're often recommended as part of a balanced diet. But here's the hidden truth: even healthy doesn't always mean fresh, and nowhere is that more obvious than with this vegetable. You've probably noticed it yourself. Eat this food at lunch, and by evening your trip to the bathroom reveals it instantly. The smell in your urine is sharp, sulfur-like, and impossible to ignore. Scientists say this happens because the vegetable contains special sulfur compounds, the same family of compounds that make rotten eggs smell so strong. Your body can't fully break them down, so it pushes them out quickly through urine. That vegetable is asparagus. Now, why does this matter for your vagina? Because just like urine, vaginal fluids are another way your body releases what it doesn't need. Those same sulfur compounds can end up there too, so instead of leaving you feeling fresh, asparagus can give your scent a sharper, more pungent edge for hours afterward. And here's the tricky part: it doesn't affect everyone the same way. Some women barely notice it, while others are shocked at how strong the odor can become. But if you're someone who feels embarrassed about unexpected changes in scent, asparagus can be a hidden culprit. Does that mean you should never eat asparagus again? Not at all. It's packed with nutrients, and it's excellent for digestion. The secret lies in when and how you eat it. By eating asparagus this specific way, earlier in the day, and always with plenty of water, you give your body time to flush out those sulfur compounds before they have the chance to settle into your fluids. But here's where many women get caught off guard. Because asparagus is seen as a healthy vegetable, they eat it without thinking twice, especially before moments when confidence really matters. And then they're surprised when freshness fades faster than usual. So keep this in mind: not every healthy green is your ally. Some can secretly work against you, leaving behind traces you never asked for. But while asparagus may be a troublemaker, nature also gives us fruits that act like protectors. Small, colorful, and bursting with antioxidants, they not only fight infections, but also help keep your intimate scent lighter and cleaner. Not all foods betray you. Some quietly work in your favor, protecting you from the inside out. And this next one doesn't just taste delicious, it acts like a natural shield for your vaginal health. Before I reveal it, let's step back for a moment. Many women think that odor only comes from sweat or poor hygiene, but often the real cause is something deeper: infection or imbalance. When harmful bacteria or yeast start multiplying, your scent changes. It's sharper, it's heavier, and it doesn't go away, no matter how often you shower. This is why antioxidants matter. Antioxidants are like tiny bodyguards. They protect your cells from damage, they help your immune system fight infection, and they keep harmful bacteria from taking over. And when infections are kept at bay, your natural scent stays lighter and cleaner. So which food gives you this protection? Small, dark, juicy little gems. Blueberries. Blueberries are packed with vitamin C, natural acids, and powerful antioxidants. Together they help keep your vaginal environment balanced, making it harder for bad bacteria to grow. And when balance is protected, odor doesn't have the chance to sneak in. But here's the catch: not all blueberries are equal. By eating blueberries this specific way, fresh or frozen, without adding sugar, you get their full power. A blueberry muffin or blueberry pie doesn't have the same effect. In fact, the sugar in those desserts can feed the very bacteria you're trying to stop. Another secret about blueberries is how they support circulation. Better circulation means healthier tissues and stronger natural defenses. That's another reason why women who eat blueberries regularly often feel more comfortable and confident in their own skin. And here's something most people don't realize: blueberries don't just help your vagina smell fresher, they also lower the risk of urinary infections. And as every woman knows, once a urinary infection starts, the smell can change dramatically, and not in a good way. So don't underestimate these tiny fruits. A small handful a day can quietly protect you in ways that no perfume or wash ever could. But while blueberries work silently in your favor, there's another favorite that can undo everything in just a few glasses. Many women enjoy it for relaxation, but inside the body it lingers, not just in your breath, but in your fluids. And yes, it can dull your freshness. Some habits feel harmless. A glass of wine at dinner, a cocktail with friends, a toast at a family gathering. But what many women don't realize is that alcohol doesn't just affect your mood, it leaves a trace in your body that can quietly dull your freshness. Here's what happens. When you drink alcohol, your body works hard to break it down. Most of it is processed by your liver, but not all of it disappears there. Some of it lingers in your blood and eventually escapes through your sweat, your breath, and yes, through your vaginal fluids. That's why the smell of alcohol doesn't stop at your mouth. It follows you long after the glass is empty, and the effect can be stronger than you think. For some women, even a single drink makes a difference. The body releases alcohol compounds that carry a sour, stale edge, and when those compounds mix with your natural scent, the result isn't what you want. The other issue is dryness. Alcohol dehydrates you, and dehydration means less natural lubrication. When your tissues feel dry, the balance shifts, and bad bacteria have an easier time growing. That change alone can tip your scent in the wrong direction. Does that mean you should never drink again? Of course not. The secret is in how you drink it. By drinking alcohol this specific way, limiting yourself to one glass, always with food, and following it with plenty of water, you reduce how much your body pushes those leftover compounds into your fluids. That's how you enjoy the moment without paying for it the next day. But here's the part I want you to hear clearly. Alcohol doesn't just affect how your body smells, it also affects how you feel. A little too much, and your confidence slips, your energy dips, and suddenly you're worrying instead of enjoying yourself. And confidence, more than anything else, is what makes intimacy sparkle. So think of alcohol as a guest at your table, welcome in small doses, but unwelcome if it overstays. And now we come to something very different, a food that has been whispered about for years. Some call it a myth, others swear by it. It's sweet, juicy, and more powerful than you might imagine. And for women who want that extra spark of confidence, this is the one they turn to. It may just be the most important food of them all. Some foods earn a reputation, not because scientists proved it in a lab, but because women whisper about them. They get passed along as secrets between friends, talked about quietly before a special evening, and tested by women who are searching for just a little extra confidence. And here's the thing, sometimes those whispers are worth listening to. For centuries, people have noticed that certain fruits leave behind more than just sweetness on the tongue. They're watery, refreshing, and loaded with natural sugars and vitamins. When your body processes them, those qualities don't just disappear. They leave traces in your fluids, traces that can make you feel lighter, fresher, and yes, more confident. But here's what's important to understand first. Fruits aren't perfumes. No food is going to suddenly turn you into a scented candle. What they can do is change the balance of your body's natural fluids. They dilute the heavier compounds, add hydration, and bring a subtle sweetness that makes everything feel cleaner. That's why women who swear by this fruit don't just say they smell fresher, they say they feel fresher, and that confidence is what matters most. Now, how you eat it makes all the difference. By eating this fruit this specific way, fresh, ripe, and never drowned in sugary syrup, you give your body the true benefits. When it's canned or processed, most of the freshness is lost, leaving only sugar that can actually work against you. So what is this fruit women can't stop whispering about? It's pineapple. Yes, pineapple. Juicy, tropical, refreshing. Some call it nature's dessert, others call it their secret weapon. And while science hasn't fully caught up to the whispers, thousands of women will tell you, when they eat pineapple regularly, they notice a difference. Subtle, but real enough to keep them coming back to it again and again. So what's the lesson here? Foods can either be your ally or your enemy. Yogurt, celery, blueberries, pineapple, they quietly support you. Garlic, asparagus, alcohol, processed foods, they can work against you, and now you know exactly how to use them the right way. If this surprised you, let me know in the comments which food shocked you most and which one you'll be trying first. And if you want me to cover the foods that secretly make things worse, the ones women eat every single day without realizing they're sabotaging their freshness, tell me, because that video is coming soon. And remember, your vagina doesn't need perfume, it needs balance, care, and the right choices at the table. Thank you for spending this time with me here at the Female Health Podcast. If you found this helpful, hit subscribe, share it with a friend, and join our private membership space if you'd like closer guidance. Until next time, stay confident, stay curious, and most of all, stay fresh.